Kitten Kaboodle, or to use its original Japanese title, Nyan Nyan Panic, is a Pengo variant game, released in arcades by Konami in 1988 on the Nemesis hardware, if that sort of thing floats your boat. The premise of this single-screen block-pushing game is simple. Control the cutesy-looking cat around the various mazes, squashing the equally cutesy-looking enemies to find keys to advance to the next level. All rather familiar, really. Enemies can be squished to reveal keys by simply kicking blocks at them, but you can also wreak further havoc with the special blocks. Match them in lines of 3 to unleash their power. The dynamite blocks destroy every enemy on screen. The fire blocks send a plume of flames hurtling through the middle of the maze and incinerate any nasties. And the crown blocks grant you a limited spell of invincibility. You can also freeze the baddies with the time blocks. Enemies drop money and jewels too, which becomes useful later, but it doesn't stick around too long, so grab it quick. You can also jump over blocks to reach safety, or jump over the enemies in a pinch to save your skin. The game starts out nice and simple, naturally, just a warm-up before the challenges that await you later. Give it a few levels and here come some tough little buggers. They all have tricks of their own. Some fly over the blocks to reach you, others can push blocks to squash you, others are impervious to damage whilst moving. And it's here that the game takes on an extra dimension of challenge. It's not just a block-pushing puzzle game anymore, but a deadly game of, dare I say, cat and mouse, in which you need to keep your wits about you, as you now need to outsmart the baddies before they get you. And they will. They will get progressively more aggressive as the game goes on, so there's little respite in the later levels. Don't stop around for too long or they'll catch up with you. Also, if you don't complete a level in time, a green rocket thingy comes out and chases you down. You could simply strike down the baddies with blocks the nice, simple, safe, boring way, but that won't get you very far in the later stages. You are going to need to learn to rely on the special blocks and use them wisely to get the keys and get out alive. But yet, there's more to the game still, because at least once in every level you are whisked away without warning to one of 3 bonus locations. The first game is a casino, where you get to gamble away your coins for big cash prizes, hosted by a very attractive bunny who makes oddly suggestive noises, and had she worked for Cadbury's in the 1980s, she would have seen the sales of the caramel bar increase tenfold. The second is a frantic game of back and forth against a pig, it's better not to ask, where the race is on to push bombs at each other, the winner being the one who pushes the most bombs over to their opponent's side by the time the timer runs out, and it all adds to your money total. And the third place is the most important, a magical shop run by a dog, where you can buy power-ups with the money that you've earned. Brilliant stuff. You can buy an extra life, running shoes for extra speed, or bombs. Nice. You might be wondering why a game as cute and cuddly as this would be on my recommend list, and you'd be right to ask. Truth is, I never heard of this game until very recently, when I saw it in a MAME list, and I enjoyed the pun in the title. Sure, it's pretty standard fare, and undoubtedly you can find 100 other games just like this, but I'm a bit of a fan of these sorts of games. You know, the fiendish combination of collecting items while avoiding or destroying enemies, with some maze puzzle elements thrown in. It gets quite tense at times as the enemy creatures bear down upon you and you've got to think quick to get out of peril. You know, much like in Pengo or Bomberman, and as any of you know, I like me some Bomberman. Or maybe do I just particularly enjoy brightly coloured games featuring cats? Anyway, it can be a bit fiddly to control, and the bonus stages, which I mentioned earlier, while great and useful, in fact crucial to your progress through the game, they just appear at random, right in the middle of the action, seemingly without any reason for it, and that's a source of great frustration as it just throws you out of the game. Wouldn't it have been better to have been accessed by a special item found on the level, or even between levels? Sometimes we all like to enjoy a game that's inoffensive, fun, but still retains a challenge, and Kitten Kaboodle has the whole Kitten Kaboodle. Yes. Anyway. It's a real oversight that it began and ended as a fairly liked, but ultimately largely forgotten arcade game. I'm sure this would have gone down a storm on, say, the SNES or the Mega Drive. No home console port of this game means that your only way to play is on MAME, although it was available for a limited time on the Microsoft Game Room on the Xbox 360. If you do have the means to play, it's worth a go. Oh yes, did I mention it has 2-player mode, so that's a good thing too. So that was Kitten Kaboodle, a fun, cutesy little puzzle game for players who prefer cats to penguins, I guess. Buggered if I know what you'd play if dogs were more your thing. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe for more. Feel free to leave a comment down below. Thanks ever so much for watching, and I'll see you next time on Retro Respawn.